So what if the answer to one of the biggest challenges in farming wasn't in some high-tech lab, but was actually right there in the soil itself? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful, super low-cost method that's changing agriculture from the ground up and creating a more sustainable future for all of us.
You know, for millions of smallholder farmers, especially across Africa, the soil is, well, it's everything. It's not just dirt. It's their bank account, it's their grocery store, it's the legacy they leave for their kids. The health of this land is directly, and I mean directly, tied to the well-being of their families. And this quote right here, it just gets right to the heart of the crisis. When soil gets depleted, what happens? Crop yields plummet, pests seem to show up out of nowhere, and whole livelihoods are put at risk. It becomes this really devastating, vicious cycle.
And look, this isn't some abstract problem we're talking about. It has a very human face. For farmers like this, working the land is their entire way of life. So when the soil loses its vitality, it's not just an agricultural issue, it's a direct threat to their culture, their community, and their survival.
Okay, so what's the answer? What if the solution isn't in a pricey bag of chemicals, but is already thriving in nature, pretty much hidden in plain sight? This is where the story gets really, really interesting.
Let's meet the heroes of our story, Mountain Microorganisms, or for short. Just think of them as a little super team of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and yeasts that all live in the rich, decomposing floor of a healthy forest. And what's their job? To break down organic matter and basically create life.
The whole process is actually incredibly simple. It doesn't start in a lab. It starts with a walk in the woods. Farmers go out and they collect this decomposing forest material, which is just teeming with these powerful native microbes. The solution is totally local and completely natural. So how do you take that natural power and scale it up? Well, you take that small sample from the forest and you give the microbes a feast of simple, local ingredients, things like molasses and bran. You're basically brewing a massive army of beneficial microbes that are ready to get to work. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this idea. Just like probiotics help the life inside our gut, these mountain microorganisms act as a really powerful probiotic for the earth. They restore the natural life and balance to depleted soil, making it healthy and productive all over again. All right, so you've got this army of microbes. Now what do you do with it? Well, the first big application is to create a kind of supercharged solid compost. This method is called bokashi, and it essentially ferments organic matter to create what you could call solid gold for the soil. And this comparison really shows you what a fundamental shift this is. On one side, you have the expensive chemical fertilizers that can actually degrade soil over time. But on the other, you've got bokashi, a low-cost method that uses local materials and actually regenerates the soil. It puts the power of fertility right back into the farmer's hands. So how does it actually work? Well, it's a controlled fermentation process. First, you gather up local organic matter. Then, you add the activated solution, which is like the starter culture. But the real key is step 3, managing the fermentation by turning the pile to control its temperature. And get this, in about 15 days, you've got a potent, nutrient-rich fertilizer ready to go. Now, this isn't just passive composting where you set it and forget it. No, this is an active, hands-on process. By turning the pile, farmers are directly controlling the fermentation, keeping those microbes working at peak efficiency. It's an incredible way to put technology and control back into the hands of the farmer. So empowering. But the versatility of this technology doesn't even stop with solid compost. You can also use these powerful microbes to create something we'll call liquid life, a really potent, fast-acting liquid fertilizer. So this liquid fertilizer, it's called a bile, and it's another total game changer. It's made by fermenting things like fresh cow dung and milk with that same starter. Its biggest advantage is that the nutrients can be absorbed directly through a plant's leaves, which gives them an instant growth boost and can even help keep pests away. The science behind this is it's elegantly simple. To make the bile, you need an oxygen-free environment. So this really clever setup uses a tube that runs from the sealed drum into a bottle of water. That little bottle of water acts as a low-tech airlock. All the fermentation gases can bubble out, but no oxygen can get in. Brilliant! After about 25 days, what you have is this dark, rich liquid. It's a concentrate that is absolutely packed with nutrients, vitamins, and all those beneficial microorganisms. You dilute it with water and it becomes a powerful spray that gives plants an immediate boost. Okay, so we've seen the problem of depleted soil, and we've explored these two powerful natural solutions, the bokashi and the bios. So what's the big picture here? What does it mean to farm for the future with this kind of technology? And here it is. This is the whole thing coming full circle. It starts with the humble, life-filled forest floor, and it ends with this incredible result. Healthy, productive crops, like these cocoa pods, just thriving in regenerated soil. It's a straight line from ecological health to agricultural wealth. The impact is it's so clear and measurable. First, soil health improves dramatically. That, in turn, leads directly to increased crop yields. And maybe most importantly, farmers' costs are slashed, which frees them from being dependent on expensive, external inputs. It's a win-win-win.
And this is the bigger picture, really. By reintroducing these vital microorganisms, farmers aren't just feeding their plants, they're bringing the entire farm ecosystem back into balance. They're restoring the natural cycles that create resilient and sustainable land for generations to come.
You know, in a world that's always searching for these complex, high-tech solutions, it really raises a powerful question, doesn't it? What if the key to a more sustainable future has been right under our feet this whole time, just waiting for us to notice?